Hello. So in this video, we're going to talk about Edward Bond's play, Passion. Now, in my video about Black Mass, I had talked about how Bond is not subtle. At all. Passion continues that trend. I would say it even goes further. Passion was written for the campaign for nuclear disarmament, which was an it's exactly what it sounds like. It was a British anti-nuclear weapons popular movement that started in the 50s. This is a satire, but it's a satire that really requires no critical thought or effort from viewers. This is a satire that basically just directly tells you, here is the conclusion you should draw about the events in the world today. So it starts where an old woman whose son has gone off to be a soldier, he's been killed, his body is brought back, and the old woman in the first scene says, "After all, I have to live. It's very difficult for an old woman on her own. I can't manage, and that's a fact. I need my son to keep me. I shall go to the Queen and ask for him back. She's clever, and lots of clever men work for her. She can give my son his life back. It's a bit impertinent taking up her time. My worries must seem very trivial compared to the important things she has to do, but she won't grudge an old woman. It'll only take her a few minutes, I expect. And after all, I gave her my son when she needed him, so she can give him back now I need him." That's actually a fine premise. I don't have a problem with that premise at all. I think it's actually quite a good thing. Then we get to the court in scene 2. The Queen is presented as an obvious farce in this sort of weird, like Alice in Wonderland style nonsense way of speaking she has pretty much throughout the play. So she does say "good day." That's technically her first line. But then her first substantial line, she's talking to the Prime Minister. She says, "Ideal weather for bowling, swimming, running, jumping, giving a garden party, getting crowned, getting married, making your will, taking in lodgers, lifting up your heart, counting your blessings, or departing this life. Select the word or phrase of your choice and delete the others as appropriate." And that's how it is presented. Yeah, this bit right here. She does that again. Does it again, continually throughout the play. She gives this list of somewhat random, arbitrary words that could be substituted in depending on what's appropriate for the occasion. And she makes no actual sort of commitment to anything. So that's kind of annoying. But no, I mean, what this is meant to suggest, I think very obviously, is the Queen is just a sort of empty vessel who doesn't actually do anything. She serves no purpose. She's only there. She's only there in the sense that people can fill in the blank with whatever they want out of her. So the Queen, with the help of the Prime Minister and a magician, decide that they are going to create a monument out of the soldier's body. That's the best they can do for this woman. At the same time, the magician has created a bomb that is twice as loud as anybody else's bomb, or twice as loud as the enemy's bomb, at least. And they're going to launch that in the same ceremony where they put up this monument of the son's body. This is kind of it's a farcical ceremony. Yeah, fine, whatever. The monument that's revealed has a pig carcass nailed to it. An actual pig carcass. So it says here, the queen presses the button and the white sheet falls. There's a full-size cross, and on it is nailed and bound a crucified pig. The soldier's helmet is nailed over its head. And then in parentheses it says, the pig is to be obtained from a slaughterhouse and not killed for the performance. It may seem unnecessary to state this because it's hard to imagine actors leaving rehearsal to kill a pig, but directors are a different matter. Experience shows it's a mistake to take chances with them. So, first off, I think it's pretty fucked up to put an actual animal carcass on stage. I understand the shock value of it, etc., etc. And I'm sure in 1971, that was a thing that people were just super jazzed about. Oh, shock value, dead pig on stage. Whoa, I'm startled. Yeah, whatever. Fuck you, guy. No, honestly, I think the reason that bothers me, I have a big problem with cruelty to animals, and I accept that the fact that I eat meat does make this hypocritical. But even taking a pig that has been slaughtered at a slaughterhouse and using it as a stage prop, I find extraordinarily distasteful. And again, I get the symbolism, I get why it's important, etc., etc. But yeah, not to my taste. I'll just put it that way. So they then set off their bomb. Turns out the enemy has a bigger bomb, which destroys England, basically, except it kind of doesn't. It just sort of messes stuff up. But the monument is still there. The Queen and Prime Minister and Magician are still there. The old woman is still there, etc., etc. Oh, yes, the old woman convinces herself that the pig is actually her son's body. So that, I mean, is a pretty straightforward, like, here's the value we place on dead soldiers. Or, perhaps more cynically, are soldiers who die defending the country are themselves pigs. It depends on, I don't know. It depends on how anti-military, anti-militant Bond is. So, bomb has gone off, destroyed pretty much everything, at which point Christ and Buddha come on stage, sort of leaning on one another to support one another. Christ explains that they have come so that he can be crucified and save everybody. But then he goes to the cross, looks up at the pig, and he says, I'm too late. I can't be crucified for men because they've already crucified themselves, wasted their lives in misery, destroyed their homes, and run mad over the fields, stamping on the animals and plants and everything that lived. They've lost their hope, destroyed their happiness, forgotten mercy and kindness, and killed love into suspicion and hate. Their cleverness has become cunning. Their skill has become jugglery. Their risks have become reckless gambles. They are mad. What are my sufferings compared to theirs? How can one innocent die for the guilty when so many innocents are corrupted and killed? This is a hell worse than anything my father imagined. Buddha says, cry and I'll wipe your tears and lead you somewhere else. Lean on me. We'll find another world where they'll accept our priceless gift of peace. Christ says, but where? This is our place. There was to be love and kindness and good sense here. There was to be peace. So again, Bond is directly saying to you, here is the message in a giant flashing neon light. You do not have to think very carefully about this. There is no subtlety. There is nothing that requires you to meet the playwright even halfway here. Like everything that Bond wants you to get in terms of his political conclusions he's drawing is basically directly stated. And for me, that's an incredibly weak approach to playwriting. I'm really not a fan of something this overtly didactic.